So today we will be reviewing the LiMAX 2, which is the successor to the LiMAX. Let's see how much better it has gotten, and more importantly if it has enough merit. The look and feel for the LiMAX 2 bears some resemblance to its predecessor from the front, but the rest of the body has an all-new design which looks and feels a lot more polished. The rose gold version might not suit everyone's taste, but we are sure you can mask some of that by using a case. The phone gives the impression of having a bezel-less display, but it does in fact have thin black borders, which are visible once the screen is on. The metal unibody is also a bit slippery, making single-handed use awkward. LeEco has gone with a more manageable display size this time. A 5.7-inch Quad HD panel is still plenty good as the pixels are dense enough to be indistinguishable to the naked eye. Gorilla Glass protection has also been confirmed to be present. We have no complaints here as color reproduction is good along with good brightness levels and acceptable sunlight legibly. Navigation is handled by backlit capacitive buttons, and you can even get a notification LED above the display. On the left we have a single slot for 2 nano SIM cards, while the volume and power buttons are placed on the right. The phone storage is however not expandable as there is no micro SD card slot. Up on the top we have an infrared emitter, while at the bottom we have a USB Type-C port and grills for microphone and a mono speaker. As far as specifications and software is concerned, just like most flagship phones launched, the LiMAX 2 packs in a quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 SoC with 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. There's also a lower cost version with 4GB of RAM and 32GB of storage. The performance for the LiMAX 2 handles daily duties very well thanks to the snappy CPU and loads of RAM. We noticed a bit of heating during gaming and while recording 4K video, but nothing too alarming. On average you have about 3.5GB of free RAM at your disposal, so it's very rare that you'll encounter any major lag during usage. We love the camera on the LiMAX and its successor doesn't disappoint either. Well, almost. The 21 megapixel sensor gets optical image stabilization and a closed loop motor for better PDAF performance. The camera is quick to lock focus when you change your frame without needing you to tap the screen. There is some degree of shutter lag as we noticed a slight blur in some images. The bottom line is that the sensor produces well-detailed landscapes and macros with neutral colors. In low light and under artificial lighting, chroma noise is well within bounds. Although the detail level of distant objects isn't the best, 4K and Full HD videos are good, although the sensor fails to readjust focus when you pan, therefore forcing you to tap the screen manually. Slow motion video is shot at 720p at 120 frames per second, but the quality is not great. Talking about the front camera, it has an 8 megapixel camera that captures decent amount of selfies, but you have to keep in mind that the video recording is limited to 720p. While it's simple and straightforward, it feels incomplete without a professional shooting mode, especially when you have such a good back sensor. There's panorama mode, filters and voice control. The settings menu also lets you adjust white balance, ISO and exposure, but it's not present in most convenient way. Plus, shutter speed and focus controls are missing. The phone features a 3100 mAh battery which lasted us 11 hours and 53 minutes in our video loop test, which is good, but we think LeEco should have tried to fit in a higher capacity battery considering the overall dimensions of the device. For normal usage, we managed to easily get past a little more than a full day's worth of use. The phone also supports Qualcomm's Quick Charge 2.0, which certainly helps speeding up the charging process. One of the problems that we had with its predecessor LiMAX was its pricing, but LeEco has ensured its second generation offering a more competitive price. The LiMAX 2 starts with a 22,999 for 4GB RAM and 32GB storage, for which it makes its lowest price Snapdragon 820 based smartphone in the market today. Definitely the Lumix 2 has a high resolution display, it has a very good camera, the battery life is good, CDLA audio and the suite of streaming services are in its favor. But I feel the software needs a little bit of polish. The phone is heavy, there is no NFC and you need to fight to see flash sales. The fingerprint sensor isn't the most responsive either, although the company says it's an isolated issue with our unit. So definitely Lumix 2 is a good choice, but do keep in mind that there is a OnePlus 3 which is not only accessible but is also a very good smartphone.